here, keep your eyeliner there.
I'm Jason Fowler, and this is my testimony. My father was a politician growing up. He was county commissioner of St. Clair. My mother was a church-going woman. For the most part, probably from the ages of 1 to 6, I had a normal life. I remember by the time I got to be like 10 years old, we had lost everything we had. I went from living in a nice house, a nice neighborhood, to Section 8. I was living in project apartments. I was getting messed up. I think I was like 13 years old. I started smoking weed and drinking with my friends, and I lived a fast life, but I never had nothing to show for it. But once again, I thought that was normal. I thought that's how life was supposed to be. When things escalated, when my father died in 2013, everything was left to me. I didn't know how to handle it. Everybody thought I was gonna go off the deep end, and instead of going off the deep end there for a little bit, things started getting right. I met at that time what's my ex-wife, and years went on. About 3 years, we started growing a family. We had a child. We were buying a house. And that's when really things started to flip, because the pressures of life got to me. When these hard times that were coming, like the house payments, or focusing on getting ready for my son to come into the earth, like it was difficult for me. I was carrying all this baggage with me, and I just exploded. I started using heavy. I started selling coke again, and pain pills, and as I was doing that, it escalated. I ended up getting into some serious trouble. The first time they got me, 30-day sanction, let me go. Second time, there wasn't no more running. Like, well, we're gonna send you to prison. And that was the first time I lost everything. Mason, my oldest boy, he started asking me about being saved, and I walked him up to the altar and we prayed, and I remember being so proud. I remember crying, thinking, man, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. But lo and behold, as soon as we got done with service, I'm in the bathroom, with a needle in my arm, getting high. I overdosed. I went flatlined. They revived me. They took me to the hospital, and while I'm at the hospital, I was sitting there really thinking, like, if this was really gonna happen, we're gonna do this the only way I know how. And I made a phone call, and I took out, and I went to the streets of Birmingham. I stayed homeless in the streets of Birmingham for nearly 2 years. There was a couple times where I didn't think that I was gonna make it out of there. I'd had enough. I was fed up. I was sick of looking at myself in the mirror. I was sick of just everything that was going on. And I cried to God. I begged him to take it away, just to take every bit of that pain away. I'd missed so much, and I missed my kids so much, and I missed her so much that I didn't know what to do. It's weird how God works, because the very next week, and the St. Clair County officer that picked me up, he recognized who I was, and he had remembered me from so long ago. And he said, Jason, I don't know if you know this or what's going on, but man, I want to pray for you. And he pulls off to the side of the road, and he prays for me, and I swear it felt like movies. At the end of the movie, when you see the credits roll down, like that's how you know it's over. That's what it felt like. It felt like it was the ending credits to this long, sad story. I felt this great amount of pressure taken off my chest. Like, I felt relieved. I felt like it was different. Like, I wasn't worried about where I was going. I wasn't worried about going to prison or anything. I was just so relieved that I wasn't out there no more, and that I wasn't using that I now the control's back in my hands, that I can direct where my life goes. And ever since I came back here, I didn't do it Jason's way. I started being more active with helping these men here, letting my story be heard, to where hopefully I can help pull one person out of that just pit of despair. I almost gave up hope, and if I'd have gave up hope, I wouldn't be here today. I'd be dead. There's no doubt in my mind about that. I would flirt with death on a daily basis, and now I can honestly tell you that I love life. I'm alive, and I'm working my heart off to be the example my kids deserve. When they see me, I want them to say, that's my dad. I want them to be proud. And I will fight the rest of my life to have that. My name's Jason Fowler, and this is my testimony.